connection that David has. I mean, I call him a bridge between East and West, because I think David is a poet who is very serious about his vocation, and he does this. That's so fantastic about it. And also, before I read, I would like to thank the Office of International Students and Scholars for inviting me as a special guest for the Education Week. And my thanks to David and to all the friends who have been so kind to me and so generous. I only wish I can return this favor when you come to Nepal one day. And my friend Robert is here, who was just with his wife Lou, who were in Nepal last time, and we went up in the mountains. The poem is called Namesake. My brother has a little grave in Spartanburg. He was not carried there on a shield, his wounds all in the front, but in the wooden box. His head bruised by serpent with forced scabs, one of the holy innocents who died of clumsy hands, fever or dearth, amoebic waters, dirty beds, or any awful thing at birth. There is a small stone inscribed to show the child was named and loved. And somewhere a raft of documents, the certificates of live delivery with its little black footprint from the country hospital, a social security number, a marriage license, letters of interest and disinterest and offer, is piled high above to prove there was another son who lived mean and he had the same name. How do I reckon this? In knowing the paper does not equally human, and such an ephemera are crushed under the small weight of an infant's carved granite, weathering away 75 years. He is not yet known to me, but very little grave and a small stone. When we meet, I will tell him that I am his brother, his namesake, so that we might laugh at each confusion and at the expressions on our very new faces. Thank you.
Possible to justify the actions and inactions of a loving God in the presence of evil through the machinations of natural selection. Evolutionary theodicy, which sanctifies and redeems the suffering of animals, allowing them a place in paradise. The wolf, the lamb, the leopard, the kid, the calf made plump for eating. The lion, the serpent whose eyes will no longer stun and teeth will no longer sting. All in the confused noise of a child's parade. If the theology is at times hard to follow, the logic Byzantine, then simple intuition is best. That there is a pelican heaven, and all that is created is loved by that which creates, that all share in a final tumbling reunion of fur and feathers, of scale and skin, of song and yowl, all changed to more of what they were meant to be, the perfect flyer, scooping perfect fish from a sea, reflecting sun like Mercury. The lion archetype roaring in the distance from his place. If I end up there, it will be the side of a hill of wildflowers, and in the morning sun, one small orange cat for welcome.
NGC 1952 in Taurus. It starts with an excerpt from Paradise Lost. On heavenly ground they stood, and from the shore they viewed the vast, immeasurable abyss, outrageous as a sea, dark, wasteful, wild, up from the bottom turned by furious winds and surging waves as mountains to assault heaven's height, and with the center mix the pole. Paradise Lost, Book 7, by John Milton. As with much in deep space, perspective fails in anti-height, anti-depth, anti-width, anti-time. The vanishing point turns into an event horizon, far more than the place where resolution is lost, rather where light will not return, where sight flows in but never out again, where knowledge touches a threshold and is no more. It is important to understand the difficulties cosmonauts have in describing what they see, in words that are comprehensible to Terrans. Photographs do not help, the failure of perspective made worse by pixelation. Here, in the Crab Nebula, there is nothing that is organically alive, and the crawliness of the remnant gases, seen this close, evoke nothing of the jointed crustacean seen from Earth. Instead, at NGC 1952 in Taurus, 5 hours, 34 minutes, 32 seconds, decline 22 degrees, 52 inches. Coordinates of no particular place, no particular moment. We have so far been unable to fix the precise location of the phenomenon in space-time. There is a confluence of streaming matter, spun off from a black singularity and pouring out of obscurity, fearsomely huge. And only some blinder governing our visual comprehension saves us from the bony madness of insignificance. 2. I am reminded of a tale posing as a history lesson from elementary school. It tells of Jimmy Angel, who flew his airplane, all aluminum and rivets, over then uncharted rainforests in the interior of old Venezuela, South America, Earth. He flew blind in a dense fog using a simple magnetic compass and Coleman altimeter and his eyes and his ears. He heard it before he saw it. A roaring turbulence sweeping him along, and then a break in the cloud cover that allowed him a glimpse of unspeakable beauty. A river flowing out of the sky, exploding from indeterminate cumulus heights and disappearing into a maw of deep mist. Scientists defined it mathematically as the highest waterfall on Earth and named it, for a while, after the obscure aeronaut. 3. NGC 1952 in Taurus neither falls nor ascends. It is neither named nor misnamed, but it is disturbing and beautiful beyond describing, except in tale or parable. It is simply not comprehensible, moving forever from strength to strength, other than in the coolness of mathematical equation. Even now, my words lose focus when I try to articulate what is not able to be said. It is better to think as a Buddhist or a Gnostic might, that NGC 1952 in Taurus merely is what it is, nothing more or less than Laudamus Te, Benedicimus Te, Adoramus Te.
春雨や林道に追う戦前一期一会 One time, one meeting, which will be our last and best. We stoop to avoid bumping our heads, to show our humility and trust. Any annoyances and deceits have been left behind, like our katanas on the waiting bench. As we pass under the low wooden lintel of this perfect place. 2. All bitterness is swallowed up like green froth. Every moment is crafted. Every topic of conversation contrived, so that far fewer words are spoken than might well up in anger. Nothing is moved, but that which is planned. Nothing is planned, but that which is practiced. Nothing is practiced, but that which simply and only is. 3. Here in this abode of fancy, in this loveliness, we agree we will not war, we will not have, but purity within and order without. The self is whisked in the symmetry of a porcelain ball, and shared as souls in the spare actions of civility. The dregs of the tea, the memory of perfection. 4. It was the spring rain, and I smelled honeysuckle before the battle. Thank you.